It gets lonely in this business. Need a homie who's a realist, someone who wants to find out all that I have to give. Who can bring me what is missing? When I talk, she wanna listen. Sitting patient, steady waiting for the day when I can't face it. The one that can love me for who I am and so much more. Is it you my body that I found the one? Ain't gonna rest till I know for sure. So, baby, please believe me when I tell you that. Hey, y'all, welcome to the Urban Network Sisters team. Now, listen, y'all. If y'all, the music y'all hear in the background, I need y'all to go download that app. That's Lady J Media. If you have an Android phone, you can actually download, you can go to play.google.com and you can actually download Lady J Media. You can listen to music all day long and you can listen to the shows when the shows are playing. So make sure y'all listen. It's got some good music on there. And tonight we got one of our hosts, John Hansboro, and we wanted to celebrate John tonight because John actually has a show on What About Baltimore Radio, and one of them is Fire Shutdown, which he's been killing every single week. And then he also has a show that he does with his wife that's called Unusual Favour. So I wanted to bring him on tonight to just celebrate him because of the really great stuff that he's doing, and also to put his book out there so you all can get his books, okay? Zalea has books as well, and we want to make sure that we support everybody. Okay, this is about the Urban Network. Okay, urban meaning people. So we want to make sure we support. Zalea, how you doing in Florida?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm feeling good.
Look, John, I was hanging out today, and then because you know, Zalea, we're not unlike you. We don't get warm weather like every single day. So today was a good day, and I was out there like running around trying to get everything done. And I'm like, I need to get
You know, I honestly forgot all about it. Today was Monday. This weekend, I forgot all about it. I've been celebrating my anniversary with my wife.
Yeah,
and I just got all messed up all weekend.
Yeah, well,
but it's beautiful out there, though. Beautiful.
It is. It's a really, really beautiful day today. So we just want to, we're going to celebrate us. This show is about celebrating us and our accomplishments. So we want to start off, John, talking about first of all, happy anniversary to you and Shawana.
Thank
you. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. 13 years.
13 years. Okay, cool. 13 years. Well, shout out to you, Zalea. There's hope for us. Somebody come.
Right.
Sure it
is. Somebody coming along. So, but congratulations and shout out to you for the 13 years. And we know, marriage is not easy. So, you know, even if you do 1 or 2 years, you start to find out who the person is, you know, how they operate and all that kind of stuff. So we know, and then we know that you wrote a book, and that's how I actually met you when I actually interviewed you for the book. So tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, my book, Unusual Favour, is a story about myself and my wife, some trials and tribulations that we dealt with in our marriage. And I decided to write about it with her consent. She was okay with me sharing our story, just to get it out there and to help somebody else, really. You know what I mean? From the things that we go through in this story, my love for writing is what got me through all of the stuff that we had to deal with. So that's how this, Unusual Favour came about. And I also write poetry too. I have a book also called Spitfire Poetry, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And that was just a way for me to cope and deal with what we were dealing with, really.
Yeah. And so I know I've asked you this question before. And so your book, like you said, it was therapeutic for you to actually write down the accounts of what was going on in the relationship. And I think, like for me, writing, and I know Zali as well, we all write. So it's like it's therapeutic to write and get your stuff out there on paper. But how was it to write and then have people actually read? Like you didn't just write it like a diary. You wrote it and then you published the books. How was that?
You know, I felt as though we had to be transparent about it. You know what I mean? Um, it took a lot for me to get to that point to be able to be comfortable with doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all of the stuff that we went through, we went through so much that
Yeah.
it strengthened us to the point where I was like, let's put it out. And if, you know, as long as she was all right with it, I didn't care how, I mean, I care how people receive it, but it's not like I'm like, you know, people say, you know, they have their mixed feelings about it. That's how it is. That's how it is, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
I believe that being transparent and open is something that's really not prevalent right now. You know, nothing is really too organic anymore. You know what I mean? So with the consent of my wife, when she said she was all right with me doing it, I was happy to do it. First, I wrote this in a play form at first. I used to do a lot of stage plays, and at first I wrote it in a stage play form, and then I decided to make it into a book to make it more personalized. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I didn't even use us as the characters at first. I made up characters, but I used our story. And
Right.
then after a while, I thought about it. I said, I need to make it more personal, and I just told the real, you know, the real thing, the
Wow.
real story.
Mm. Wow. Now, I've read the book. The book gets into some really detailed stuff. So, and I asked you this question before when I was interviewing you. Like, I've talked to some other guys who I have shared the book with, and they're like, "What? Like this dude? You get called all kinds of names, like weak. Um,
Right.
must be a punk. Like, what kind of? He let this woman push him around. Like, all kinds of things are said. How do you live through that part of it?
Well, the way I live through that is knowing that it really takes a real man with strength and integrity to do what I did.
Yeah.
So, you know, I understand people may have things to say about it, but that doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Um, there's a lot of men that could have dealt with what I dealt with, and then there's a lot who would have probably drank themselves to death or been on drugs or killed themselves or killed their wife. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know I'm a strong person, but I never knew how strong I really was until we started experiencing things in our marriage. You
Yeah.
know?
And I think love, like, it just showed me the power of when I was looking through it and even interviewing you two, and I see how much you really love each other. It shows like the power of love. Like love is so powerful that when you do take those vows, and that's the thing, everybody, when you say
Right.
what you do in sickness and health, broke or you got money or how it's been so long, I don't remember what they said.
Me either.
But all the stuff they got in there, and you just up there like, I will. You so busy looking into the person's eyes, and you
Yeah.
just, I do. But when that stuff comes down,
When the real work starts, yeah,
woo,
yeah,
yes, it's just like, do I really want to do this or not? Like I look at
right,
my parents, and I even look at like they've been together for 60 years, so that 60-year marriage has had some ups and downs. But when I look at them, and with my mom being sick, and I look at the way that my dad cares for her, it always reminds me of that in sickness and in health. You know,
right.
like when you take those vows, y'all, when you stand before God, you better make sure that's why I said, no rings for me right now. Mm-mm. I'm not willing to do the sickness and the health and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah,
You know, that's a serious thing though, you know, and a lot of people
yeah,
you know, we don't really think about what happens after. We want the, you
exactly.
know, some of us want the big honeymoon and the big wedding and this, that, and the other. But when that work starts, and I'm talking, you could be 5, 7 years into your marriage
Yep.
and start to see stuff, and you like, whoa, you know
Mhm,
what I mean?
mhm.
So, you know, we definitely us being having a relationship with God one of the main things that got
Yeah,
us through
yeah,
this. Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sorry, Zali. I was doing all the talking. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. As an author, I always aspire to hear other stories of inspiration and what really got you started. And just listening to your story, it is such an inspiration to hear. And just like Lady J said, just an inspiration to all of us single people, that there is like a good commitment and a relationship that is, that's able to happen. And so so nice of you to be able to share your story. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
And
It
so,
took it
yeah,
took a lot. Like I said, if it wasn't for my relationship with him, I don't think I could do this at all. I
yeah,
really don't.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. And
And so,
I
did
can,
you ever get like the chance to go out and like speak in front of people, like to share your story like publicly?
Yeah. I've been to a couple churches and things like that. I haven't done too many like speaking events about it yet. But I've shared it with groups of people at different churches and things like that. Um, and just the response is something that continues to humble me every time. You know what I mean? Because a lot of men wouldn't share the story that I'm sharing the way I'm
right.
sharing, because it's normally in our community. Sometimes it's the other way around, where the woman is dealing with some of the stuff that I had to deal with. So it was also, like I said, it was also therapeutic too, though. It
Mm,
really was. It was therapeutic to get it out. And then when I sit and I read it, I do sometimes. I'm like, I don't understand how I got through this.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? I really do. And I sit back and read it sometimes because I'm writing. I just finished writing part 2 of this.
Oh,
So I would read the first one to make sure I'm lining everything up correctly, and it's I don't know. It's incredible to me. You know what I mean? That I was able to sit and write and even write my poetry while I was dealing with what I was dealing with. And
mhm,
the only answer is, like I said, because it's therapeutic for me. That's the only thing. That's
right.
the only thing.
Definitely can
And
relate.
I was actually listening to, because in the morning time, I have to meditate because it's so much stuff going on. I really have to meditate. So a lot of times, like I love listening to TD Jakes. I love listening to his ministry. And today I was listening to the sermon and he was talking about how a lot of times we don't understand why we go through so much stuff and it seems so heavy. And then you're looking at it like, why did this have to happen to me? But it was like he was saying it was never about us. It was never about what you were going through. It was about who you could help later on in
Right.
that process. And it was about who she can help later on, and who you all can help as a couple. So that's the thing that I always tell people because sometimes I used to be really hard on myself, like, why is everything happening to me? But when you look back, you never know how many people have actually read your book
Yep.
or how many men have gone through what you've gone through. They just don't talk about it.
You
But God,
know, I had a
yeah.
speaking of that, I'm sorry I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Mhm.
I have a close friend who got the book back in April, right when I released it in April. And
Mhm.
he read it and he called me. Now this is my friend from a long time. I'll be honest with you. He's not the regular type. He's a thug type guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He read that book and called me up and was like, "Man, I don't, I don't know how you did it.
Wow.
I don't know how you did it." And he is dealing with something sort of similar. So he was telling me what it did for him and
Mhm.
how it inspired him and how it moved him and how he didn't even realize what I was going through. It was just it's just humbling. It really is.
Yeah.
It's really humbling. You know what I mean? Because the hell that we went through, to be able to be on the other side of it and be sitting right now. I'm sitting out at Patterson Park with all my books on the table, trying to sell my story. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And years ago, I was in a different place, a
Yeah.
totally different place.
Yeah.
That's
That's
right.
amazing. And I think that's the beauty of everything that we go through because when you look back, you're like, wow, I'm sitting here,
Yep.
with it. And then, see, this is the thing that I really love, and this is what God does. He actually allows you to still see those people that talked about you, that didn't support you.
Lady J, oh my God.
You know,
Oh,
family. It be family,
Right.
because
right.
they can't. They're looking at the outside, and they're saying, "Why are you allowing this person to put you through all of this? Walk away, leave. Don't worry about it. Take the kids, do that." But they're not.
I heard it all. Believe me, I heard it all. I
It's
heard it all.
it's like now you sit back and you look, and you're like, "Okay, they still over there. This person broke up.
Right.
It's like you see all the stuff that they went through. It's something about really being transparent and real,
Right.
what you're going through and just putting it out there into the atmosphere. Because God will bring it all back together and fix you up right in front of these people. I love
Every
it.
time.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes.
Every time. You never lied. Every time. He does.
He does.
He
And he
does.
was putting you up right in front of the very people that talked about you and had no faith in what you were doing. They
Yes.
treat you like you're crazy. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they have to come back and embrace you because they see that, you were doing what you were told to do and what you were called to
Right.
do. That's why I be telling people, don't stop in other people's marriages and their business and stuff like that, because you don't really know what's going on inside of their house. Let those two grown people
Right.
handle the business, But
Yes.
everybody want to get in it. So I'm just shout out to you and your wife, because
Right.
I know y'all probably went through hell. Y'all just went
Oh,
through it.
we had to go through a lot with that because we both have family who love us, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So they
Right.
looking at it from a different perspective than what
Yeah.
we were, and we were dealing with it. So
Right.
it's like
Right.
a lot of stuff we had to just tune out and just focus in on us.
Mhm.
And therapy is what helped us do that too. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Us doing therapy was able to help us break that down and get it done, get through it. Still to this day, we still do therapy to this day. You know, to
Good.
this.
So
And
good.
that's good. Mhm.
That's good. And you know what? The thing is, John, I'm grateful that you being a black man, that you look past all of the stereotypes, the fears, and all of that, and you chose to say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Whatever happens, whoever says what, I'm gonna just go ahead and do this anyway. You focused on your children, you focused
Right.
on your life, and you focused on your home. That's what grown people do, And
Right.
it's like a lot of times we're so busy telling other people about our business and what we're going through. And I've learned over the years, because I did that when I was married, and then I look back and I'm like, why was I talking to somebody that had been married for like 20, 30 years? Don't know anything about what I was going through, let alone
Right.
separating, divorce. They can't really advise you, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
I just like shout out to you. Every time I read that book, I'm like, wow. But it's a testament of, like you said, you tapped into your spiritual side and you were able to connect with God, and God really showed you, what you needed to do for your family. So
Definitely.
yeah, shout out to you. So now you said you got another book coming out?
Yeah, Unusual Favor moving forward be out at the end of this year. And it just rounds off, the whole story of what we dealt with. And it's crazy because I'm trying not to, but it's like I'm getting a feeling of that may not even be be the last one. I'm not sure.
Wow.
But because this thing that's happening now that's just new and different that
Yeah.
we never even thought would be happening. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
but 2 is definitely finished. Moving forward, it's called Unusual Favor. Moving forward, and it's I'm just thankful.
Mhm.
I really am. I'm just thankful to be experiencing it because it definitely wasn't easy at all.
Now,
Definitely wasn't
how
easy.
I wanted to ask you, well, a couple of questions. Um, how does it affect her, is what I'm asking, now that everybody's talking about the book and they're, saying this and that. How is she affected by it, or is she affected at all?
I don't think she's never expressed to me that she felt a certain way. But us being together, we've been together for 15 years and married for 13.
Okay.
So you know your mate, you know.
Right.
And my wife is very she's very open, you know. Shalonda is an open person. She likes to help people and things of that nature. So, you know, I don't think that it bothers her that it's out there. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I really don't. I think she looks at it as, and actually, she said something in an interview that we did. I think it was with you, Lady J, but she said something when somebody was asking her about how she felt about me writing it, and she was like, "Well, my husband was telling his truth
Mhm.
about what we dealt with." She was
Right.
like, when I thought about it like that, I was okay with it, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
Um, but it doesn't seem to me that she's feeling any way about it. I know I don't, you
Mhm.
know. I
Yeah.
really don't. I
And
really
you know
don't.
what? I'm thinking like from a woman's point of view that she probably doesn't feel any kind of way about it because if you got somebody fighting for you and riding for you like that, it's like, you know, my man got my back. So, Lord Jesus, where is he at? Can you, where is like I'm
He's
sitting here,
coming. He
like,
coming.
can you send
I
him like
love it.
you know, it's like she know her man got her back, so she don't really have to worry, you know, and that is the most beautiful feeling I think that a woman can have to know that, you know, we went through all of this and he still got my back. You know, he was still holding everything together, you know, as I was trying to get through it. I think that is amazing. So shout out to both of y'all. I just really think it's a wonderful, it's a beautiful love story. And tell
Thank
her don't be worried about it anyway because y'all going to become rich, you know, and the story's going to get out anyway, you know. So it's best to just go ahead and put it out there right now. Y'all might be on OWN or something like that, you know. Y'all might be on a reality show. Who knows? So
Right. Tyler
look,
Perry, Tyler Perry needs a new movie.
yes, yes,
Uh,
yes.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Yep. So you
Look
never know.
into existence.
Yes, all the time, all the time. That's why I'm like, Lord Jesus. So you know, you just speak it's coming. So, John, you also you got your Spitfire poetry show. Now, if y'all have not seen his Spitfire poetry show, that show is fire. And I always say maybe it's because like I love open mic, I love music, poetry,
Me
and stuff
too.
like that. And the people you have had on are amazing. Like they are just I go back and watch the shows. They're just amazing. So how did you get into that with the spoken word?
Um, I got into the spoken word as a form of therapy, like I said, and then I did a play with Danielle Butler. Um, and she does a play like every year. And I was in that play as a poet, and I met a bunch of other poets that were there, and I had already had the idea of doing an open mic at some venue,
Mm-hmm.
but the next thing I needed to do was get the poets together. So it was perfect when I met these poets at that play, and one of the first ones that I met and said that they would be down with it was Kevin Curry,
Oh
my
wow.
brother Kevin Curry. Yep. Um, that's why I say God. I'm telling you, God works in some mysterious ways because um, I think God placed Kevin in my life because he's such a man of God himself.
He
To be
is.
honest with you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Mhm.
You know how Kevin is, Lady
Yeah.
J. So
Yeah.
it's like when I told him about it, he was all for it. Um, there was a young lady who's a sister of mine named Arthur Poetless Shakespeare. She'll be on the 28th on the Spitfire Poetry Show. She was down with it. It was like me and 8 other strong people who were constantly coming on
Oh.
whenever we did the Spitfire.
Mhm.
So at first I did it at a an art gallery, and that was pretty nice. I had a good turnout, and then I moved it to Glory Days in Towson, which was awesome. They have a patio
Right.
outside,
Right.
and we were outside at night. It was so beautiful. It was really nice. And then once the COVID hit, I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do now. That's when I decided to release this once COVID hit because it was done. But
Okay.
I was like, I can't do any open mics. So what am I going to do? I can't. So I released the book, and then hopefully things are opening back up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even more. But thank God from Butterfly Entertainment, I'm able to put Spitfire Poetry on. You know what I mean? On virtually,
Mm-hmm.
and it is doing great. I sometimes watch the shows myself. I'm not gonna lie, I really do. You
Yeah.
know, I love.
Everything happens for a reason. Because remember how we met? We met at the other station, and I
Yeah,
met you through Kevin because I
right,
was talking
exactly.
to Kevin, and Kevin was like, "I want you to meet this other guy." So it's just amazing how things work out, and that's why I said things flow the way they're supposed to.
Right.
Everybody, listen, we all got our season. You just gotta stay focused. You gotta hang
That's
in
the
there.
thing. Can
Yeah,
you withstand it and you
right,
know
right.
and stand and get through it? In the beginning, when I was doing the open mics, I used to worry in the beginning about if it's going to be a lot of people that show up and who's going to support and all that. And I realized after a couple of months to a year, because I was doing it every month, that
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. When you have when God gives you the vision for it, that's
Mm-hmm.
all. That's it right there. It's your job to work the vision. If you can work the vision, it'll work out for you every time. But
Mm-hmm.
if He gives you a vision, is for a reason. You
Yeah.
know, gotta listen to that, stay focused on that, because y'all have no idea how many times I've heard, well, what you're doing is not going to work. You
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't say this, and you cussing in your poetry, and it's like, whatever. I just
Mm-hmm.
got to a point where I was just like, whatever. I'm gonna put on my armor, polish it up.
Right,
We
right.
go, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
take these darts and we're gonna keep on moving.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And because I did a post like I think it was last week where I was saying like people were like, "Oh, you should never go into radio. You don't know anything about radio. Don't do that. You don't know anything about radio. It's not going to work." Now these same people, I'm so happy for you. And it's just like
Amazing.
sometimes you got to just like you said, dust yourself off and be like, it's either going to work or it's not going to work. The worst thing you can do is not try it. So at
Right.
least try. At least try it. At least go forward and see what it's going to be like. I think
Right.
all of us, had we not just said, you know what, forget you, I'm going to go do this anyway, we wouldn't even be having this conversation on here.
That's right. That's for
Yep.
sure.
We wouldn't be
Yep.
having a conversation. Sometimes you got to just get up and you got to just do it. The gift is given to you. It's not given to other people. And
Right.
that's what we got to remember. So, John, can you give us something like right now, like y'all,
Oh,
like y'all,
poetry? Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I could give you. Let's see. I'll give you one of my favorite ones. Um, this is called all that. They say all that shouting isn't necessary. They say all that shouting isn't necessary. But what have they been through that's colder than that month of February? I'm talking about news that'll make your body ache. And it's out of your control, so you feel you got to participate. It was all good just a week ago. Now I'm in a doctor's office and they planning my treatment, though. My work has come to a halt, but my bills, they longer than a tree stump. I stand in line for aid and assistance. All the while, I feel I'm losing my existence. The lady behind that desk looked at me as a stereotype. Not realizing 96 hours prior, I ran a work site. I feel like my back's against the wall, so I pick up the phone, but who do I call? I was stripped of everything with nothing to spare as I laid on a cold, hard table and stared in the air. God, is this it? Will I see my wife and kids again? If I die and my baby's crying, who will make them grin again? My life was saved, though it was full of sin. My doctor said, take a few of these and your pain will come to an end. But no, I must keep going. There's no time to break. But my back is against the wall. And the devil don't hesitate.
Mm.
When he came to me to convince me of my faith, I refused to be a victim and told him, clown, you too late. When I realized who brought me through it all, my vision, it became clear as he showed me a picture of it all. He said, son, didn't I tell you I would never let you fall? It was then I decided to serve him in the midst of it all. So if you see me go crazy or start to bang on a wall, it's my way of praising him because he brought me through it all.
Mm. Woo! Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So when you write, my son and I were talking about this the other night because he in a different, they different. But so he said I kind of understand like the spoken word and stuff, but he was like, a lot of times it doesn't rhyme. I said you got to go deeper, like you got to really listen to what that person is saying. So when you wrote this, was it something that you were really going through at that time?
Oh yeah, that was that poem is a little bit of that story of our unusual favor story wrapped into that poem. You know what I mean?
No.
That yeah, it that definitely explains a lot of what we dealt with. I came home from church one Sunday and wrote that poem. You
Wow.
know, for some reason, I don't know what it was, but that evening I wrote that. I was up all night and I wrote it. I wrote that one and one called "Forgive the Saints," and it was just a way for me to release.
Let's hear Forgive the Saints. I think I heard that one before, but I do like
You
that.
may have.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's Forgive the Saints.
Forgive the saints, because I could care less for title or rank. That devil will deceive you. He's nothing but evil. When you're full of the spirit, nothing comes near it. Jeremiah moaned, it's like fire in my bones when the pastor reaches a certain tone that zeroes in on the problems you own. You cried and you wept it. You came to accept it. Endure the night because that joy is unexpected. And change your heart. That's the start of something you took part. It's not fashion or art. Come into the ark and save your soul and walk streets of gold. It's about eternal life, not thousands of likes. Tell me, what went wrong as we sang our song on benches with palms? And my favorite Psalms is 30. Of course, I cried out, oh Lord, and you swung a sword. Now I'm beginning to see how you live in the tightest of places. It's all so amazing. Chasing after you when I'm blue. They said it was you that made it all true. So what's there to do except keep praising you? I mean, you are the reason I'm walking and breathing. Give the saints. Everything doesn't everything that I do doesn't rhyme. I like for it to rhyme a lot for some reason, but everything that I do doesn't rhyme. And this is so many different like forms of poetry and spoken word. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, like I really didn't even know with so many different forms myself, you know. But I have a friend, like one of my friends is a poet and a storyteller. And she does rhyme in her stuff, but then sometimes she just tells a beautiful story. And it's just, you know what I mean? It just all works together. The way, you know, her voice and the way that she puts her words together. The thing I love about it is everybody's got a different style. Nobody's the same. Everybody got something different. Everybody delivers their flow differently. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things I love about it. And with spoken word to me is that like you got poetry and then spoken word. Spoken word is like to me that's like, you know, us that's people telling their truths about how they feel about what's going on in our society, what's going on in the world, things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things that people normally really wouldn't say, but for some reason they get like I know people who are super shy, but you put them in front of that mic, it's a whole different. You wouldn't even know. You would
Yeah.
have no idea how nervous they were before they got there. You know?
Right. Wow. Well, John, I'm excited because I'm gonna share this with everybody too. That I have asked John and Kevin to actually collaborate with Lady J Media and put together these events, the Spitfire Poetry, the open mic, and all of that, because there's a lot of people. I mean, the people that you bring on your show, there's a lot of people out here. I mean, they just know it, and they need to be heard. So
Yes.
we actually talked about, we have a place already, everybody. So when they put it out there, we're going to go by the COVID restrictions, but when they put it out there, please make sure that you support it. It'll also be televised live, and it'll be on the radio. But we want to make sure, because I really believe, like you said, when people are going through stuff, like to speak, it really allows you to just express yourself, to get it off the chest, to just get
Right.
it there. So I think that's going to be a good thing. I'm actually looking forward to that. Now, Is there anything you want to tell us before we go? Anything you want to share with us before we go?
All of my books are on Amazon. You can get all of them on Amazon. Um, During the weekend, especially in the spring and summer now, I'm always outside. You can catch me at Patterson Park where I am now, or Lake Montebello. I'm normally out there in the mornings or in the evenings. I before the COVID, I was doing a event at Enoch Pratt Library that was called Spitfire Saturdays.
Okay.
And I had two different events. One was for children in the morning, and then the other was for adults. And I had a young couple come in one time. They had to be like over 70, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just me and them in that room that day. Nobody else came, and they blew me away. So I'm hoping to be able to get back into doing that at the library too. But with the COVID going on, we'll see how that plays out. But you can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook as John Hansboro. I have an Unusual Favour book page. I have a Spitfire poetry book page. I have an Unusual Favour podcast, Spitfire Poetry Podcast, that are both on Butterfly Entertainment. Thank you, Lady J, for that. You and her do such a wonderful job. And I'm getting ready for the next show that's coming on this one. And then at 8 o'clock, y'all do Be More Baltimore, right? I mean, Be More Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Yes, we do Be More Brooklyn.
Yeah,
at
that's
8.
my show. I like that.
So I just want to tell you, I'm really proud of everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
And I'm happy that you believed in me and came over on this side, where I'm at. And thank you for all the people that you continue to inspire. We got, I think her name is the Clay Whitshire. Anyway, she's giving you a clap and a hand wave.
Thank you, sis. Appreciate you.
Here. And then also, Zylia, before we go, tell us about what you're doing. I know you still doing the book tour.
I am. Actually, I just wanted, before I forget, I wanted to invite you to join my Facebook group. We have tons of poets. You were talking about doing a virtual event because the members are all over the place, but
right
at Black Girls Write Too Facebook group. So please join and collaborate.
I love that name. Wow, yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I like that.
Please join and collaborate with us. And you can find out more information about my organization at blackgirlswrite2.com. My name is Zylia Nolan, and I'm the proud author of the Memoirs of an Empress. My books are actually part of a trilogy. The trilogy is called Living the Life of an Empress. And the second book is 1991, which will be out shortly. And that story is the story of predominantly of Black women at predominantly white institutions. Actually, I'm hoping that you would also join me on Instagram at Black Girls Write Too as well. Tons of contacts there as well. Let's stay connected. And I would love to read your books. I definitely have to get a copy of them. My books are available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, as well as internationally. And I'm super excited about my second book coming out. And
congratulations!
Thank you. It was a pleasure. I've been so inspired by your story in more ways than you could ever imagine. Right now, I'm just totally blown away about how this whole conversation happened. Just something personal in my life, but the conversation was directly came from God. That's all I got to say. So thank you for that, and I'm so honored to have met you.
Thank you. I'm honored to meet you as well. Thank you. We definitely we'll definitely collab. I'll definitely look you up. Definitely.
And definitely, Zylia, if you get up here and you do your books, like we got to all get together anyway.
And I told you, Lady J, I'm coming to Maryland real soon to go to my alma mater, which is Washington College. I'll be visiting them soon. Probably to talk about my book, and then of course I want to see more. It's been years since I've been here. I definitely am going to connect once I get there.
Yeah, it's so crazy because like Zylia and I met when I was at the other station, and we stayed connected, but we've never met in person. you know.
Mhm.
And so it was like Gilbert and I, we connected at the other station, and I just met him like in February, you know, but we just stayed connected. So I'm just looking forward to the day when we can all just come around each other and just really, you know,
Absolutely.
everybody get to meet. But John, thank you so much. I know you got books to sell. Listen, brother, you are an inspiration to a lot of
Thank
people
you.
out here, and even the ones that probably have called you names and said all kinds of stuff. But I know you got them thinking, right? And
Oh
so
yeah, they got my back too though. They just don't want to say it. So
they don't want to sit down with
they
them.
love it too.
They got to keep that bro code going. So I understand.
Yep.
That. But thank you for being transparent, you know, and for putting your story out there to really help somebody else. Because like I said, you never know who you help in the process just by telling your story. So thank you so much. Thank you, Zylea, for always being here. And listen, everybody, every other Monday, we have the Urban Sisters Network. If you want to be a part of the show, all you have to do, like Zali is on social media, on Facebook, so you can go to her page, Mrs. Nolan. You definitely can reach out to me if you would like to be on the show, because it's all about us promoting the people in our community. That's what we want to do. And so make sure you get their books now. You know, don't just watch the show, get their books. I put their information in the comments. So make sure that you reach out and get their books. So guys, thank you so much for coming on. John,
Thank you.
well out there with your books. I wish you well. Tell your wife I said hi. And I will see you next time. And you all listen. Don't forget, everybody, that you know we are here. Lady, listen, I gotta tell y'all something before we go. Like, this is so cool because I was out and this was getting so crazy to be out in the city, and people were like, oh, that's Lady J over there. That's Lady J. So it happened to me like today. And John, you know where my diamond is at, right?
Right.
So I'm at my diamond and I get a phone call. And the person couldn't understand what I was saying, so I pulled my mask down. And you know, you got to look around at them mall anyway.
Right.
So I'm looking around, and these two guys, like, they walked past me and they came back. And I'm still on the phone, and they were just like looking. So I said, "Hey, what's up?" And the guy said, "Oh my goodness, it's Lady J. It's Lady J."
That's right. That's right.
So, shout out to Be More. Y'all listen. I'm loving the love. Make sure you continue to support our station. We actually got a few shows that's getting ready to start. So y'all, if you want to come over here to Lady J Media, come on over. Make sure you check out the app. Go on play.google.com. You'll be able to download the Lady J Media app. Yes, Lady J Media has an app. So this is music that's playing in the background. So y'all, see you, John.
Thank you guys. Be safe. Thanks for having me.
Have a great night.
You too.
That's Lady J Media music.
Oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. You live at home with your mama. Oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. You have to show me that you don't show love. Oh yes, son, I'm talking to you. Wanna give a man with no money? Oh no, I don't want
Got to do it. lady. Let you know from the gate, I don't go down lady. I want a chick with thick hips and lips to lips. She could be the orphan sight or like the strip. Girl, you get me around, how you look in my eye. But you talk too much, man, you're ruining my eye. I don't wanna lose the feeling, cause the group is feeling is on fire. You looking good for the getting, I'm a rider. Other in the hoodie, you're a living a provider. You should see the beauty of my women and I'm living it up. The squad stays filling the truck with chicks that's willing to trizz with us. You say you got a man and you're in love, but what's love gotta do with a little menage? After the party, me and you could just fly for a few and get it done too. That's love.
Got to do it. Got to do it. Got to do it.
Mommy, I know you got issues. You got a man, but you need to understand that you got something with you. Ass is fat, frame is little. Tattoo in your chest with his name in the middle. I'm not a hater, I'll just crush a lot. And the way you shake your booty, I don't want you to stop. You need to come a little closer. And let me put you under my arms like a dog is supposed to. Please believe you leave with me. We be freaking all night like we was on E. You need to trust the God and jump in the car. For a little hard ain't at the Taj Mahal. What's up?
Got to do it.